Let me tell you something about deep thinkers. They are the ones who pause before answering, the ones who stare at the ceiling while everyone else is laughing. To the outside world, they might look distant, quiet, or even slow. But inside, there is a storm. A deep thinker doesn't just think, they feel their thoughts. They don't process the world through speed, they process it through depth. Every silence, every detail, and every change in tone carries weight. And that weight can be both a gift and a heavy burden. If you are watching this, you probably know that burden well. You know what it's like to live half in the world and half inside your own mind. But what is actually happening in the brain? Being a deep thinker isn't about having a high IQ or reading complex books. It is about how you experience reality slowly, intensely, and in layers. Psychologists call this intellectual overexcitability. It means your brain is constantly seeking patterns and meaning, even when it doesn't need to. It's like your mind is tuned to a frequency higher than everyone else's. Take a sunset, for example. Most people see the colors and think, that's beautiful. But a deep thinker, they start wondering how the light bends through the atmosphere, or they feel a sudden ache realizing that this specific moment will never happen again. That isn't overthinking. That is depth in motion. It is curiosity meeting consciousness. This intensity, however, comes with a cost. Deep thinkers often feel lonely, even when they are surrounded by people. It's not because they don't like company, it's because they crave a different kind of company. They don't want small talk about the weather. They want soul talk. They want to know why people chase storms, not just if it's going to rain. In a world that moves too fast, that kind of depth can feel like a foreign language. And then there is the mental fatigue. When your mind never stops, rest doesn't always mean silence. You might be lying in bed, but your brain is replaying 10 possible futures, or dissecting a sentence someone said 3 days ago. This is called cognitive rumination, when the brain loops thoughts without resolution because it is desperate for closure. But closure is rare for deep thinkers because every answer just opens another question. That is why so many turn to art, writing, or music. It isn't just expression, it is therapy. Psychological facts suggest that externalizing your thoughts reduces amygdala activity, which is linked to emotional intensity. Writing or creating helps calm the storm, because when thoughts take form, they finally stop echoing. But let's pause here. There is a misconception that deep thinkers are all serious or sad. That isn't true. Some of them laugh harder and love deeper precisely because they notice the smallest things, a crack in the wall, the smell of old books, or a child's laugh. They see poetry in the ordinary. You can't rush their thoughts because they don't think in lines. They think in spirals. Every idea leads to another, connecting the tree to the soil, the seed, and the sunlight. Here is where it gets even more interesting. Neuroscience suggests that deep thinkers actually experience time differently. When your brain processes information in high detail, it slows down your perception of time. You aren't living slower, you are just living deeper. But this depth creates a complexity paradox. You can see the beauty, but you also see the tragedy woven into it. You feel love, but you also feel its fragility. This is often why deep thinkers are misread as distant or cold. In truth, they are simply processing more than they can express. They are silent not because they have nothing to say, but because their thoughts don't fit into small talk. In neuroscience, the default mode network, the part of the brain active during introspection, is often hyperactive in deep thinkers. That is why solitude feels like home. Silence speaks in a language they understand. If you have ever felt like your thoughts are too much, too heavy, too abstract, too endless, remember this. Your brain isn't broken. It is beautifully complex. Research shows that people who engage in deep self-reflection are often more emotionally resilient. You bounce back not because you are tougher, but because you have already explored your pain, named it, and faced it. As Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." That is the heart of deep thinking. You aren't escaping the world, you are waking up inside it. So don't apologize for thinking too much or feeling too much. In a world full of noise, be proud. You are proof that silence still thinks. And that is the rarest kind of beauty there is.